Tim Westendorf, farm here in Dieterich, Illinois, and mostly in Effingham and Shelby County with my dad and my brother. We row crop corn and soybeans. We're pretty spread out from one end of the farm to the other. We're about 35 miles, and kind of wanted to become more efficient with our farming practices. So we originally tried out the Bandit. So what we thought was we would cut out the spring apply anhydrous. We would put our nitrogen down with the planter, and then we would come back and coulter that. And we did that in 18, and it worked out really well. And then in 2019, we dropped the coulter pass and went with 2 wide drop passes. So we'd run nitrogen through the Bandits, starter fertilizer through the totally tubular, and then come back with 2 wide drop passes to address tissue sampling issues we were having. And then we farm a lot of different soil types, and we were looking into changing our closing wheels to a spike closing wheel, or just something different, because in the same field, it's the soil type changes from one end to the other. There's nothing you can do to change it. And we had looked into some other closing options and kind of stumbled across the Wave at a meeting that the Effingham Equity had put on, and reached out to 360 and wanted to beta test it. So we done that, and we beta tested it in 2020, and we're blown away with the product placement and the closing. We've got ground that we've never been able to get a stand on before. It's pure muck. If you don't hit it, just at the right time, you won't get a stand because you can't close it no matter how good you work it. It doesn't matter. But whenever we put the Wave on, the one thing that I have noticed is the seed trench is closed before the closing wheels ever get to it. All that's doing at this point for us is just putting more dirt on top. I highly recommend the Wave. Even if you don't put starter fertilizer on, the seed trench is closed before the closing wheel. So no matter what closing wheel you run, it's already closed. Even at the end of the field row where we stop, where my seed trench is still being dropped with seed, that corn still comes up even though the closing wheels never went over the top of it because it was already enveloped over across the seed. And the other thing that I really like about the Wave is the product placement. So we wanted to switch our in-furrow program to something that would require us to put on a little bit more, but I was afraid to do that with totally tubular. Nothing against the totally tubular, it worked great, but I wanted to put it a little bit farther over and a little farther down, and that's exactly what the Wave done. It's about a 3/4 of an inch over, and depending on soil conditions, it's about a 1/2 inch to an inch down. Right where I want it to be. I'm not going to get any burn on the seed. And then there were times where we were running 14 gallons an acre of in-furrow product through the Wave and never had any germination issues. With Wave, the longevity, in my opinion, is there's only one wear part. There's no maintenance to it. It just works. That's all there is to it. It's spring loaded. One of the things that attracted me to it was the fact that if I hit a rock, it just pushes up the knife. It doesn't bring my whole planter unit up out of the ground. So then just so much about it makes sense. Sometimes simple is the best answer, and that's what I like.